In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The story of Qurbani is not just about the slaughtering of an animal. It is a deep story of sacrifice, a powerful example of unshakable faith. And this story begins with the great Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, a man who never hesitated to give up the most precious things in his life for the sake of Allah. Thrown into fire, separated from his family and waiting many years for a child, at every step, he showed what it means to truly obey Allah without question. This is not just a story from the past. It is a lesson for all of us. What does true love for Allah look like? How firm should we be in obeying His commands? Qurbani isn't just about animals. It's about being willing to sacrifice what we love most for Allah's pleasure. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was a man who passed test after test. He gave countless sacrifices only for Allah. His life was full of sacrifice, patience, and the highest level of faith. When the message of Tawheed, oneness of Allah, spread in the kingdom of Nimrod, the king became furious. He ordered Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam to be thrown into a massive fire. The flames roared, ready to burn him. But by Allah's power, the fire became cool and safe. Ibrahim alayhi salam walked out unharmed. A miracle, a moment filled with faith. But the test didn't stop there. Even his own father told him, "O Ibrahim, if you don't stop speaking about Allah, leave my house." Without arguing, he quietly left his home, trusting only in Allah. He set out for Egypt, his heart filled with the light of faith. When he arrived in Egypt, another chapter of his life began. The king of Egypt realized that Ibrahim alayhi salam was a true prophet. He gave his daughter Hajar to Ibrahim alayhi salam in marriage. Then Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hajar alayhi salam moved to Palestine and began their life there. But one thing was missing. They had no children. Time passed. Still, there was no child. Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hajar alayhi salam both longed for the joy of parenthood. Yet Ibrahim alayhi salam never lost hope. He raised his hands in dua and cried, "O my Lord, grant me a righteous and obedient son." Years went by. He grew old into his 80s. But his prayers never stopped. Even at 84, he would say, "O Allah, I am not hopeless of your mercy. Give me a son who can support me in my old age." Finally, that moment arrived. Allah answered his prayers. At the age of 84, he was blessed with a beautiful, noble child. He named him Ismail. Now imagine this. A father who saw his child for the first time at 84 years old. How deep his love must have been. He would always hold Ismail close, kiss him, carry him on his shoulders, go to the market with him, play with him, laugh with him. Every moment was filled with love and joy. But Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was not just a loving father. He was also a fearless prophet who always followed Allah's command. One day a command came from Allah. Ibrahim alayhi salam had to leave his wife Hajar and baby Ismail in a dry, empty, and lifeless desert, all alone. The heart of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam trembled. How could he carry out this command? Where would he leave them? Just then, Allah sent angel Jibril alayhi salam. He appeared in human form and said, "O Ibrahim, Allah has commanded you to take your wife and son with me. I will take you to the place where Allah wills." The next morning, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam set out with his wife Hajar alayhi salam and their infant son Ismail alayhi salam. Angel Jibril alayhi salam led the way, and Ibrahim alayhi salam followed behind. They traveled a long distance until they reached a barren desert, a lifeless place with no people, no water, no trees, no animals. This was the very land where the holy Kaaba stands today. Jibril alayhi salam turned and said, "O Ibrahim, this is the place. This is where Allah wants you to leave your wife and son." Tears filled Prophet Ibrahim's alayhi salam eyes. He was the prophet who had once been thrown into fire and said, "Allah is enough for us. He is the best one to rely on." But this command, this one was different. It hurt. He said, "O Jibril, there is no water here, no food. How will my wife and child survive?" Jibril alayhi salam replied, "O beloved Prophet of Allah, this is the command of your Lord. Do not worry, Allah will protect them." So with a heart full of sorrow, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam obeyed Allah's command. He left his wife Hajar alayhi salam, newborn son Ismail alayhi salam alone in the middle of a deserted desert. His heart was heavy. His eyes were filled with tears. As he turned to leave, the scene felt as if even the sky was mourning. He lifted baby Ismail alayhi salam in his arms, hugged him close to his chest. Silent tears poured from his heart. Maybe he thought, is this the child I prayed for 84 years? The one who brings peace to my eyes in my old age? Am I really leaving him here in this desert? Will I ever see him again? He quickly gathered a few sticks from around and built a small shelter. He sat his beloved wife and baby inside, wiped his tears, mounted his camel, and began the journey back to Palestine. His eyes stared back at the empty desert, but his heart was full of trust in Allah. Seeing him leave, Hajar alayhi salam could no longer bear it. She ran after him, carrying the baby in her arms. She shouted, "Oh, Ibrahim, where are you going? Are you really going to leave me and this child in this lifeless place? There's no food, no water. How will we survive? We'll die of hunger." Ibrahim alayhi salam stayed silent. He wanted to speak, but before he could, Jibril alayhi salam appeared again and said, "O Prophet of Allah, you have been commanded. Do not speak, just go. Obey Allah. Leave the rest to His mercy and will." Friends, just imagine the heart of this father. After 84 years of prayer and waiting, he finally has a son. And now he is leaving him in the desert, unable to say a single word. His camel moves forward. Behind him, Hajar alayhi salam runs, calling out, "Oh Ibrahim, why are you leaving us like this? How will I survive here? This child is a great blessing from Allah. Will you really leave him alone?" She kept asking, but Ibrahim alayhi salam did not say a word, because he knew Allah would protect them. Inside him, a storm was raging. His heart felt like it was shattering into pieces, but his lips were sealed with Allah's command. His silence was his answer. His tears were flowing, but his tongue remained still. That silence, it was the sign of deep faith. Still, Hajar kept running behind. Holding her baby tightly, she ran nearly 9 kilometers behind that camel. Breathless, she cried out again and again, "At least say something. Why are you so silent? Where are you going, leaving us like this?" Every few steps, her voice cracked with pain. Her heart was breaking with fear for her child. Her eyes were filled with desperation, and ahead of her sat a silent prophet on the camel, knowing that this silence was his test in his faith. At last, exhausted and broken, Hajar stopped. Her heart was in deep turmoil, but suddenly, that inner battle calmed down. A thought rose from her soul. My husband, he is a prophet of Allah. Could he do this of his own will? Of course not. This was the command of Allah. And at that moment, she asked clearly, "O Ibrahim, has Allah commanded you to leave me and my child in this empty, barren valley?" Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam remained silent. He said nothing, but with tears in his eyes, he nodded his head. That one gesture lit a flame of faith in Hajar's heart. Her eyes were still wet, but her heart filled with strength and trust. She said loudly, "Then go. If this is Allah's command, then my Lord will never abandon us. He will protect us and our child. I am ready to sacrifice anything for my Lord." After saying this, she didn't run after him. She stood firm, holding her baby close to her chest, and in her heart rose complete trust in Allah. Tawakkul. Even if there were no people in this valley, the Lord of mercy was surely there. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam rode away on his camel, slowly disappearing into the desert. The silent winds of the desert seemed to pause in that moment. And right then, Hajar, peace be upon her, witnessed a heartbreaking sight. The camel climbed over the hill. It became smaller and smaller, until suddenly it disappeared completely from her sight. She stood frozen, staring at the emptiness ahead. There was nothing, just silence. Her heart felt like it shattered into pieces. She lost all strength in her legs and fell to the ground. Tears flowed from her eyes silently. Alone, completely alone. Meanwhile, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam looked back, but from the hilltop he could no longer see his wife and child. His heart felt a heavy weight. His vision blurred with tears. He stopped the camel, got down slowly, and fell in prostration beneath the silent mountain. His prayer was full of pain and love. "O my Lord, I have left my wife and child in a barren, empty valley at your command, a place with no crops, no water, no shelter. I don't know how they will survive, but you, O Allah, are the protector of all things. Protect them. Have mercy on them. I put my full trust in you." After finishing the prayer, tears still filled his eyes, but his heart was full of trust in Allah. He turned back toward Palestine, leaving behind a piece of his heart. On the other side, Hajar gently held baby Ismail and slowly walked back toward the small hut that her husband had built by Allah's command. Everything around her was silent. The mountains seemed to watch but said nothing. The wind had stopped. The sky was full of stars, and even the stars seemed to feel her sadness. Her tears flowed from her eyes, but her heart did not break. It was filled with strength, because she knew this loneliness was not a punishment. It was a great test from Allah. Hajar was no ordinary woman. She was the daughter of the king of Egypt, a royal princess who once lived in luxury. But today, that same princess sat in a small hut with her baby in her arms, surrounded by silence, hunger, and emptiness. Yet she was about to make history. This lonely night, her tears and her pain, all of it would be remembered until the end of time. Her patience, her faith, and her strength as a mother would become an example for the entire world. The moon wondered, who is this sitting alone in this empty land? The dark mountains were surprised. What kind of mother is this, sitting with her baby all alone? No birds flew here, no water, no food, no people. So who is she, and why is she crying? This was our mother, Bibi Hajar, a woman who gave her entire life as a sacrifice for the sake of Allah. While an ordinary woman may break under the smallest hardship, she stood strong. But Lady Hajar sat alone in the middle of the empty mountains, in the darkness of the night, relying only on Allah. In front of her was only the fear of death. She may have looked up at the sky and said, "Oh Allah, what has happened to me? I only followed your command." She was thinking, how will I survive here with my innocent child? In her arms was a small baby. Around her was only emptiness. No people, no sound, only fear and loneliness. Lady Hajar looked at the sky. Tears were falling from her eyes, and she called from her heart, "Oh my Lord, protect me and my child. I am a weak woman. I have no helper in this empty land." She had a small container with a little water. She was drinking from it and also giving it to her child. But after 3 days, the water finished. Now she became worried. Where would she find water? She already knew there was no sign of water nearby, but she could not bear to see her beloved Ismail suffer from thirst. So with hope in her heart, she laid her baby on the ground and climbed up the hill of Safa. Maybe she could see some water from above, but she saw nothing. Then she ran to the hill of Marwa, but still there was no sign of water. Dear friends, when someone is in trouble, usually they have someone close to help. But today, on this hot and rocky land, there was only one helpless mother. She was watching her baby suffer from thirst and could do nothing. She was running back and forth, hoping to find even a little water. Her only thought was to save her thirsty child from death. But all around her was silence and emptiness, as if death was calling her, saying, "There is nothing left for you. Go back." She looked up at the sky with tears and prayed, "Oh my Lord, I am a weak woman. Please protect my child. You are my only refuge." This story is one of the most powerful examples of a mother's patience in Islamic history. Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 894. She ran between the two mountains 7 times, a mother's desperate cry and a great test from Allah upon the family of a prophet. This event is remembered by every Hajj pilgrim today in a ritual called Sa'i. It is a required part of Hajj and Umrah. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 152. After she ran 7 times, suddenly, water began to gush out from under Ismail's feet. This water became the famous well of Zamzam. Allah sent this water as a reward for the patience of Lady Hajar and her son Ismail alayhi salam. During the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this well was known as the purest and most blessed water. It is still flowing today, an endless gift to Muslims and people around the world. When Lady Hajar saw the water, she fell into sujud, prostration, crying and thanking Allah. She gave her thirsty son water to drink. The water was coming out so fast that she used soil and stones to make a barrier around it, so the water would stay in one place. That is the well we now call Zam-Zam. Its water has never dried up until today. Lady Hajar continued to live in that small shelter with her son Ismail, with faith in her heart and the mercy of Allah by her side. He used to drink the water of Zam-Zam and live with the fruits from the trees around and some dates. Now that water had started flowing, slowly fruits and other blessings also began to appear in that area. A few months passed like this. One day, a caravan of 20 people arrived in that place. The leader of the caravan was a wise man. He looked up and saw a bird flying in the sky. He said, "This bird always flies near water, but whenever we have passed by this mountain, we have never seen any water here. If there is no water here, then why is this bird flying around in this place?" He told one of his men, "Go and check if there is any water nearby." That man went ahead, climbed a hill, and saw a spring flowing in front of him. Beside the spring, he saw a woman sitting with her child in her arms. He was very surprised to see this. He quickly returned and told his leader, "Oh, my leader, your words have come true. There is a spring flowing here, and a woman is sitting beside it with her little child." The leader was amazed after hearing this. How can a woman live in such an empty and deserted place, he thought. He immediately went toward the spring. When he reached there, he saw Hazrat Hajar holding her son, Hazrat Ismail, and sitting beside the spring. The leader asked, "Oh, noble lady, who are you?" Hazrat Hajar replied in a simple way, "I am the wife of Prophet Ibrahim. He left me here by the command of Allah. Allah made water come out from beneath this land for us. We are living here with his help." The leader was deeply moved. He said, "Oh, noble lady, if you allow, we would like to settle here with our wives and children. We want to live beside this spring." Hazrat Hajar replied, "Yes, you may stay here. You can drink from this spring. But remember one thing. This spring does not belong to anyone. It came from Allah, so do not try to claim it as your own." The leader promised, "Oh, noble lady, do not worry. We will never do anything wrong. In fact, we will try our best to help you." Then all the people from the caravan started building their homes around the spring of Zamzam and began to live there. Meanwhile, in Palestine, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam missed his wife and child very much. Every day he prayed to Allah, "Oh Allah, please let me see my wife and child." One whole year passed like this, but still he did not get permission. Then one day Allah allowed Prophet Ibrahim to go to Makkah, but only to visit them, not to stay. When he heard this, he became very happy. He took a camel and started his journey towards Makkah. After a month-long journey, he reached that empty place where he had once left his wife and child. When Hazrat Hajar saw her husband coming from a distance on a camel, her joy knew no bounds. She ran forward and said, "Please come inside quickly." But Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam said, "I only have permission to stand and see you. I am not allowed to get off the camel." Hearing this broke Hazrat Hajar's heart into pieces, but she controlled herself. In her heart she said, "For the sake of Allah, I am ready to bear every pain." At that time she was holding their 1-year-old baby who was still being breastfed. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam said, "Give me my son." Hazrat Hajar quickly handed him over. She looked at him with eyes full of love. This child was born after 40 years of dua, and now she had to let him go. Even though Ibrahim alayhi salam was allowed to visit, it was only once a year, and even then for just a few moments. Then came the command, "O Ibrahim, go back to Palestine. Leave your wife and son in this empty land and entrust them to Allah. He is their protector." Friends, just imagine how Hazrat Hajar must have felt when Ibrahim alayhi salam left. She had waited the whole year for her husband, and when he finally came, he didn't sit, didn't stay, just stood and left. If he hadn't been easier to be patient, but now all the memories were fresh again. Her heart was burning and tears were falling from her. Time passed. Ibrahim alayhi salam returned to Palestine, while Hazrat Hajar lived in that barren land with her son. 7 years passed like this. Now Ismail alayhi given permission to return to Makkah. But every day and night he remembered his wife and son and prayed for them. One night 7 years later he had a dream. Someone said, "Sacrifice the thing dearest to you for the sake of Allah." He woke up in fear and the next day sacrificed 100 goats for Allah. The next night the same dream came again. "O Ibrahim, sacrifice the thing most precious to you for the sake of Allah." But on the third night he heard the same voice again. Now he understood that the thing most beloved to him was his son Ismail. Because there was nothing in this world he loved more than his son. He realized that maybe now Allah wanted him to sacrifice his son, so that Makkah. He was now 92 years old. Friends, just think, this was the son he had prayed for over 40 years, the son he received in his old age. He hadn't even had much time to hug him. And now the moment he got permission to meet his son, the command was also given to sacrifice him. Every step of the camel pierced his heart. One moment, he felt the joy of seeing his son again. The next, he remembered he would have to lay him under the knife. Meanwhile, Ismail would ask his mother every day, "Mother, when will my father come? Will I ever see him?" Hazrat Hajar would reply with love, "Don't worry, son. One day your father will surely come, and we'll all be together." After a 1-month journey, Ibrahim alayhi salam finally reached Makkah. When Hazrat Hajar saw him, her eyes filled with joy. Ismail saw his father for the first time and ran to hug him. Ibrahim alayhi salam told his wife, "Prepare my son. I want to take him outside today." Hazrat Hajar was very happy. She had no idea that this day had a test written for her son. She quickly got him ready, and Ibrahim alayhi salam set off with Ismail toward the valley of Mina. Ismail was happy, laughing, and walking with his father. Sometimes Ibrahim alayhi salam smiled at his son's joy, and other times tears would fill his eyes, knowing he was about to sacrifice him. On the way, Shaitan appeared in the form of a man and asked, "O Ibrahim, where are you going?" Ibrahim replied, "For an important task." Shaitan asked, "Are you going to sacrifice Ismail?" Ibrahim said, "Have you ever seen a father sacrifice his own son?" Shaitan said, "Yes, I see one now. Are you sure this is from Allah?" Ibrahim replied, "If it is the command of my Lord, I will surely obey it." Then Shaitan went to Hazrat Hajar and asked, "Where is Ibrahim taking your son?" She replied, "He went for an important task." Shaitan said, "Have you ever seen a father sacrifice his child? He thinks Allah has commanded this." Hazrat Hajar replied, "If that is true, then he has done very well to obey Allah's command." Then Shaitan went to Ismail himself and tried to confuse him, but Ismail gave the same reply. "If my father is going to sacrifice me by Allah's command, then he is doing a good thing." When Shaitan failed to mislead the father, the mother, and the son, he went away to the place where people now throw stones at him during Hajj. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam threw 7 small stones at the Shaitan. Shaitan moved away from that place. After failing there, Shaitan went to the second Jamrah. Again, the angel told Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam to throw stones. He threw another 7 stones and Shaitan moved away again. Then Shaitan went to the third Jamrah. Once more, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam threw 7 stones as the angel instructed. Shaitan left that place too. This act of throwing stones at 3 places is still remembered today. During Hajj, the pilgrims throw stones at these same 3 places to remember Prophet Ibrahim's action. When Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam reached the place of sacrifice with his son, Prophet Ismail alayhi salam, he informed him about Allah's command. The Quran mentions this moment, "O my beloved son, I have seen in a dream that I am sacrificing you. What do you think?" The obedient son replied, "O my father, do as you are commanded. If Allah wills, you will find me among the patient ones." Prophet Ismail alayhi salam added, "Dear father, tie me up tightly so I don't move, or you might miss the reward. Keep my blood away from your clothes so that my mother doesn't get too upset. Sharpen the knife well so my neck is cut quickly, as death is very painful. When you sacrifice me, turn my face towards the ground so you don't see me. And please give my greetings to my mother. If you think it's right, give her my shirt. It may bring her comfort and help her be patient." Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam said to his son, "O my dear son, how great a helper you are in fulfilling Allah's command." Then as Allah commanded, he tied his son. He sharpened the knife and laid Prophet Ismail alayhi salam down on the ground, turning his face away. He then moved the knife across his son's neck, but the knife did not cut, not even a scratch. At that moment, Allah sent a message confirming the truth of the dream. "O Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the dream. This was indeed a great test, and we reward the good in this way. Instead of your son, we sent down a great sacrifice." Then from paradise, the angel Jibril alayhi salam came down with a large ram. From a distance, his voice echoed, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." Prophet Ibrahim a.s. understood that he had passed Allah's test. A ram had been sent in place of his son. In joy he said, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. And Prophet Ismail a.s. said loudly, Allahu Akbar, all praise belongs to Allah. These sacred words are still repeated during Qurbani and will continue to be recited until the Day of Judgment.